He came out with Backbone and Posture. We all love him for that. We also got Blessed, which blessed me when he talked about he got up from his computer one day to go to the restroom, and they noticed his keyboards were not working. And his boss called him and said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm okay. I just went to the bathroom." I mean, think about it. Had to ask permission to go to the bathroom, getting permission to go as a grown man to the restroom because his keyboards were not moving. And he said that changed, that hit him like a ton of bricks. Folks, I'm here to tell you, it can hit the rest of you that way. So we thank him for that. We also thank him for his commitment to the business and said, "I'm gonna sleep on my floor until I get it done and wrap up regional director." And he's working at it every day, getting names and numbers. Without further ado, the one and only from Dallas, Texas, you know him, Backbone and Posture, Mr. Sam Foster.
Thank you guys for having me once again on the call. I want to give it back to you, Mr. Thomas, for being the servant leader that you are, for giving us all this wonderful platform. I thank you for that. Also, I want to thank Jabri Clemens for, of course, every single time putting this together behind the scenes. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to be quick with my time because I know time is definitely of value. Okay. First of all, I want to say I had an excellent and wonderful time in Lake Tahoe. Thank everybody for coming out. Thanks for the invite. Mr. Thomas, you are awesome. You are truly, truly, truly a shark. All right. If you guys are taking notes, and I'm going to set this up a little bit different today because I want you guys to get a grasp, a concept of where I'm going with this. Okay. First of all, if you've ever been injured, especially about your legs, your ankles, anything like that, and I know I may have a couple of medical personnel on the call, so you guys can attest to this. Usually, if you're getting back on your feet, you tear your ACL, anything with your lower extremities, the doctors and nurses will usually tell you basically try to apply some pressure on it as time goes along, right? And I want you guys to put that in your mind as a concept because going somewhere, I know sometimes, once again, I can be scrambled, but I know exactly where I'm going with this. So if you're taking notes, ladies and gentlemen, if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down at the top of your note taking. Put some weight on it. Yep. Put some weight on it. Put some weight on it. So as you can tell, if you have something going on with your ankle, you tore your ACL, your ligaments in your leg, the doctor usually tells you in order for you to get better at some point, they want you to put some weight on it. Put some weight on it. When you get ready to come out the bed, they'll usually say, try to stand on it, try to put some weight on it. Why? Because they want you to get better by adding pressure to your situation. Because like we always say, no pain, no gain. Right? With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you guys on a little bit of a journey with me because once again, I have a short time to get somewhere and I got a long way to go. And you guys have to understand, I've been fired up, I mean, tremendously since we left Lake Tahoe. I mean, tremendously. Mr. Thomas can attest to this. I got a shock treatment, for lack of a better word, when we were in Lake Tahoe. Mr. Thomas had an individual come to the table that you guys may or may not know, but he came to the table to share something with us that totally revolutionized my mentality. I was looking at things one way, and then I was able to see things from a total different perspective. Okay. So, and then this week, I'm gonna be all over the place. Jabri, I hope you got my information. I'm gonna bring it to the table because I'm gonna probably be out the next couple of days. I'm gonna be in going to Fort Worth here in a little while. I'm going to a rodeo. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be at a rodeo this evening. I'm going from a rodeo. Tomorrow I'll be at a golf tournament, and Sunday I'll be somewhere else. But I'm actually going to be on the road. Like I think Willie Nelson said, on the road again. Can't wait to get on the road again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the road. I'm not just talking and talk. I'm actually walking the walk. Okay, with that said, let me get into my information. I decided when I came back from Lake Tahoe, I said, I have to do things different. If I want things to happen different in my business and in my organization, I have to do things different. Okay. I learned that up in Lake Tahoe. I learned that. So what I did was starting Monday, I got with my down one of my downlines on Monday, had him meet me at Starbucks. And this was an exercise and a training for some of you guys that say, okay, I'm having a hard time at doing certain things, I'm kind of stuck, I'm stagnating. This is going to help you guys. Okay. Had him meet me at Starbucks. He met me at Starbucks early on Monday evening. And we had what we used to call back in the day a call party. And for those of you who kind of old school in the AC and been in a while, that was old school for getting together, making phone calls as we peak names and numbers. We have them, of course, on the list, and we start calling them, we're peaking them. We're doing some follow up, some new people, some old people, things of that nature. So we started doing it. And as a result of us starting to do that, we started to get some traction. Why? Because I wanted my downline to understand I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the walk, but I'm walking the walk with them. So, in other words, instead of just talking at them, I'm walking with them. That makes all the difference in the world. Now, I understand that some people may not have an upline or upline's not close to them. I get all of that. But I'm saying this because you need to be the person that you're looking for. So, in this particular training, you have to understand that you can do this same thing, but you have to initiate certain things first. So, as we sat down and started making these calls at Starbucks, I started peeking people in front of this individual so that person can see exactly what I was doing. So he could see it live. Okay. After we started making a few phone calls and he started gaining some traction with some co-workers and things of that nature, then I switched because right behind the Starbucks in our area is a Walmart, a super center. And for those of you who know me for a while, I'll go to a mall, I'll go to a Walmart, I'll go anywhere that the blood is flowing. So I told him, I said, well, hey, let's do this. Let's go to the Walmart. I said, let's not drive. I said, it's right behind us. I said, let's walk through the parking lot. And as we walked through the parking lot, I started explaining to him my process of peaking. Okay. When we get into the Walmart, I started explaining to this individual, how I do certain things. I don't want to go into all of it, but long story short, we ended up coming out to Walmart with a few names and numbers. And this person pretty much understood the method to my madness. And I said, this is easy. I told the individual, I said, this is easy to do. And I got it. Some people on the call are saying it's not that easy for me. I get it. I understand. But we're going to touch on all of that. I want you guys to understand now that everybody's back outside, you have a wonderful opportunity to go out, meet, and greet people. Everybody can't do what I do. I get it. I can't do what everybody else does, but I can put a nugget in somebody's mentality to let them know that you can do your part and your part gets bigger over time. Okay, we're going somewhere. Okay, as I did that, ladies and gentlemen, I started realizing that there are different ways that we have to approach individuals that we're trying to peak and things of that nature. But like we say all the time, there's only two ways to do this thing. There's only two ways to really look at it. We're looking for IBO and we're looking for customers. We're looking for business partners or we're looking for customers. And that's fine. It's just that simple. I want people to get that in the back of their mind because I understand people can kind of be all over the place. What should I do? No, no, no. Business partners, customers, business partners, customers. Just that simple. Now, there's a method to the process. First of all, I want you guys to understand something. If you're timid about going out and peaking and things of that nature, Start using the tools of the trade. What are those? Business cards. Business cards. Now, if anybody went to Lake Tahoe, Mr. Ishmael was a great example. I mean, he had arm bracelets, he had flyers, he had things that you could scan on your phone, things of that nature. I think that's all wonderful. But I personally think nothing takes the place of a business card. Why is that? Because if you have a business card, that's usually going to explain your brand. And the things that you, of course, you have on your business card is your name, what you do, and the products that you have in your arsenal. Now, it doesn't have to be every single thing that has to be on the card because you don't want to jam the card up. You don't want it to be too stuffy. But you do want to give certain examples about what you do. And a lot of times for me, because I move around a lot, I think a business card is pretty good because it allows me, if I'm trying to do something real quick, if I'm at a concert, or if I'm moving around real fast, sometimes I don't have time to even have a 30-second conversation with somebody. But if I got that business card, boom, it's right to them, right to them. I do a little something, check it out. I do a little something, check me out. I do a little something, check me out. And a lot of times they'll either give me a card or they'll look at it and they'll say, what is it that you do? I said, oh, check it out. Let me know what you like about it. Check out my website. It's got my face on it. That brings even more credibility, ladies and gentlemen, because it has my face on it. Now, ACN has done a wonderful job over the last 3-4 years. They've allowed us to put our face on the website. So even if somebody gets your information and don't know you, your face is on the website, your phone number is on the website, your email is on the website. All those things are at the other person's disposal. So even from a referral standpoint, it brings more credibility to who you are. And if the person met you personally and they wanted to refer you, you know how people are sometimes. You don't even know if that's him. Somebody needs to say, yeah, that's him, or they will say, yeah, that's him. So how'd you know? Well, I met him. That's him. That's her. So if you've looked in your back office and you've done your back office right, and hopefully you have for those individuals who may even be new, if you edit your back office and you go to that personal website section, that allows you to put a total profile on your website with your face on it. It brings credibility. Trust me, we all about bringing credibility to the table. And that allows us to bring more credibility because back in the day, we didn't have that. So you got technology working for you and backing it up with a business card because sometimes that encourages the shy people that get into business to start being more encouraged by handing out the business card. Well, what do you mean by that, Sam? It brings speed and exposure to the table. Let me say that a business card can be known to bring speed and exposure to your situation. In worst case scenario, let's say you are shy. Let's say everybody's not a Sam Foster. Okay, I get it. But if you are shy, what's wrong with giving somebody a business card? And I know some people say, well, they may throw it away. That may hurt my feelings. So you expose yourself. I'd rather be able to have given somebody a business card and expose myself and don't worry about whether they're going to throw it down on the ground or not, because somebody may throw it down and somebody pick it up. Somebody going to look at it. And no disrespect, unless you blind, somebody's going to look at that information. And I'm always 50% on the plus side. What do you mean by that? I'm always 50% on the plus side. Because what if I would have never done it? Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. What if I would have never done it? That's the whole point. So I'm always 50% on the plus, not 50% on the negative. At least I've exposed myself. That's what the name of the game is, exposure. And the more exposure you give yourself, the more confidence you give yourself. I wasn't always in this position. I wasn't always so happy to go over here and do this and that, but I started realizing something. The more I exposed myself, the more encouragement I gave myself, the more self-motivation I gave myself. Okay, I'm going somewhere with it. I'm going somewhere with it. When you write this down, you guys are taking notes. When you invest in your business will eventually invest in you. Let me say that again. When you invest in your business will eventually invest in you. What do you mean by that for clarity purposes? If you're not willing to invest in your business, whether it's going to Lake Tahoe, whether it's going to other events, whether it's going to regionals, nationals, you're not willing to do that now. Don't no guessing on why your business won't invest in you. It's a reciprocation process. It'll work if you work it. If you work it. All right. All right. Then I want to hit on a key point: a job as opposed to a business. Why is that, Sam? As I go around and I peep these individual people, and it's going to be important to somebody. We have to allow everybody to understand that most people that we come in contact with, ladies and gentlemen, have never really owned their own business. And if they have, the business a lot of times owns them. So when we approach people about an opportunity to stop trading time for dollars, most people can't relate to that because most people have a time mentality because they work for somebody for so long, they have a time mentality. So you have to give a little space to it, give a little understanding. Now, I'm not saying come off the gas because I am still saying put some weight on. But I am saying take this under consideration. And I'm gonna read something off to you guys, and I want those that are taking notes to understand this for a second. A job and a business are two different things, but can seem the same to a potential. A job and a business are two different things, but it can seem the same to a potential IBO. Watch this. Because they were typically never taught to evaluate a business, so they don't see time as a value. Let me repeat that again. Because they were typically never taught to evaluate a business, so they don't see time as a value. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, the average person probably won't see the business the way you see the business initially because they either work for somebody else or they work for individuals so long in their mind, they have a hard time calculating freedom. So a lot of times you have to give yourself the opportunity to sit back and really, really think about this because for somebody on this call, they get frustrated a lot. And we all have done it before. I don't care who's on the call, we all have done it before, but you have to understand something. Typically, people won't see the opportunity the way that you do. And typically, a lot of times you've had to grow into seeing this opportunity like you see it now. And that's because you expose yourself around people like Al Thomas, Jocelyn Bristol, somebody that's been in for a while who have started to motivate and educate you on how they see things. And that's why they are where they are today. Because it's all about exposing yourself. And the way that you continue to put weight on the situation is that you start getting educated by going to the Tahoe events, the region, things of that nature, to see the masses of people, exposing yourself to see the masses of people that are having success, that are not just on a Zoom call, that you can actually see live, strike a conversation up with them, and things of that nature, because that's going to be important. All right. Then you have to realize so much because so much time, so much of people's time has been stolen from them because of a job. So much of people's time has been stolen from them because of a typical job. They won't always initially see this. But what you have the opportunity to do is allow them to see this opportunity from your eyesight. That brings in the compensation plan, things of that nature, and those different ways that we allow ourselves to get paid in this opportunity. Because some people typically think I got to gas up a whole bunch of people. Well, that's not totally true. You can get it on different levels, and they have to understand that. So the method to my madness a lot of times is I'll bring out the peaking video first. Now I don't know who originally decided on doing the peaking video, the one that doesn't have ACN on it at all. It's a beautiful thing because it allows people to have a nugget in their head and guesswork to the situation. Once they have a guesswork to the situation, then they want to know more. So they'll oftentimes hit me back and say, I think I get it. Um, can you explain more to me? Then I may back myself up by sending them the detailed information, the Tony Cooper's video. Then I'll text them and I'll say, pay attention to three things: who we are, what we do, and how we get paid. So once I do that, then that tells me that that person is interested and that person wants to know more detail. But what happens, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times they'll look at it and they'll say, oh man, that's gonna cost me $200 because they see the company. Now you have to start putting some weight on it. When you put the weight on it this time, you have to say to them, come on now, backbone posture, put some weight on it, because now you have to start having posture within yourself and say to them, say, look, for instance, $200, worldwide business, anywhere internet is connected, my business is able to run and flow. And sometimes when you're talking to them, ladies and gentlemen, talk to them in a way to where you want them to give you dialogue, because you don't want to be the person doing all the talking, because remember, you're still peaking the individual. They'll tell you a lot by their response. So you have to kind of pace it a little bit in the response, in the questions or the statement that you're presenting towards them, so they can have a better understanding of who we are. Then when they start understanding that they have a worldwide business and a worldwide opportunity, then you have an opportunity to not only dialogue with them, but possibly if you're close enough to meet with them and things of that nature. So that's a really, 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 really big help. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I do understand that we have a lot of things and a lot of times that somebody on this call may say, well, that's good and that's wonderful, Sam. But in my time of doing what I've done, I still haven't been successful. Remember what I said, I think it was last week. You have to make sure that you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's to make sure that everything is lining up with you as the individual. Yo, am I getting out here consistent? Now, let me give you an example and I'll be gone. Mr. Clemens and Mr. Thomas has set up this bring it to the table. And a lot of times they'll set up bringing it to the table and they say, bring the pictures and things of that nature. So why not make it fun? Like we learned in Lake Tahoe. Continue to make it fun. Now, I'm not beating you when I say this, but I say this in the most humblest way possible. If you're moving around with different people, why don't you take a snapshot? That's going to make the situation a lot better. And then you explain to them like I do all the time. I say, hey, I'm going to make you go viral. I want you to take a picture with me because we do this thing called Bring It to the Table on Friday evenings. And I'd love for people to see you globally as I've met you locally. You'd be surprised how many people just get amazed by it. You'd be surprised how many people they light up, because everybody wants to be recognized at some point, even if they don't know. They want to be recognized. And it's a wonderful peeking tool. And you'll find yourself getting more motivation. You'll find yourself being more amped to start talking to other people. Then you'll start talking to people that you never met. And there's nothing more wonderful than meeting and greeting and talking to people that you never met, because you always expand yourself. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, told you I wasn't going to be long. I'm getting ready to go to this rodeo. So I wanted to make sure that I give you guys simple information and basic tools that you can take with you. You can put in your arsenal to go forth because this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful summer season for us in ACN. And I don't want nobody to miss anything that's available. It's coming on the table. With that said, Mr. Thomas, I appreciate you for allowing me to have this time, this platform. I think the world of you, sir, and I appreciate you for having us down in Lake Tahoe, being your special guest. You were just a wonderful individual, and I thank you.